Welcome back. Episode 7, week 7 of What's the Call? Back again here with E. How you doing, E?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Doing good myself. Another good weekend of college football. I would say things weren't as exciting as was expecting. I think a lot of the higher seeded teams won or handled business. Couple close games here and there, but for the most part, not too many big upsets or big surprises. So just do a quick rundown, recap, and then get into the main segment, and then we'll do a look ahead as we look ahead into week 8. But anyways, starting
Sure.
off Friday, South Florida played North Texas. Thought that might be a good one. South Florida handled their business, and it looks like they might cruise to a AAC championship and
Yeah,
get that fifth championship bid in the playoffs.
it did. It looked like a good game in the first half. I think it was tied 21-21 going to halftime, and then South Florida just 28-7. They outscored North Texas in the third quarter. They just let their offense rip. It's a good looking team. Their last real test of the year is going to be at Memphis, and that will be a really good game. They'll probably decide the AAC. But one of the front runners definitely for that G5 spot for the playoff. I'd definitely
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. South Florida put some offense together. Didn't think I would see it, but like you said, that Memphis game is probably going to determine who comes out of that conference. Another Friday game, quick one. Washington handled business against Rutgers. Um, I think Washington honestly is good enough where they'll still compete in the Big Ten. I know they have that loss against Ohio State, but I'm not 100% sure on the rest of their schedule, but they could mix things up there.
I think
Move.
Washington's make or break game is this weekend against Michigan. I'm not
Okay.
really too sure how they stack up. Their one game against Ohio State, they got handled pretty well. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's just a Ohio State's that good or Washington's not very good. They struggled with Maryland till the end of the game. So we'll see how they play Michigan this weekend. If they lose or struggle with Michigan, I think that tells a lot about that Washington team. But if they handle business, I think it also tells you how they'll progress throughout the rest of the year. Speaking of Ohio State, though, um, I guess you were getting there on the start of the Saturday games. They smacked Illinois. I don't think
Yeah.
there's any question about this game. Illinois is not cannot compete with the top teams. We saw that with Indiana. We saw that with this game. This game wasn't as bad as the Indiana game, but it was controlled the whole game by Ohio State. Illinois just struggled on all facets. I just don't think they have the talent to compete with a top tier team.
I was in shambles in this game because Ohio State finally allowed a red zone touchdown on the year. I was like, oh no, it's coming to an end. Nah, but they look good. Handled business like I felt like we would. And I, Ohio State, looking at the resume here on out, it's
More ranked teams.
it's not going to be looking very good just because they can't control how other teams are playing. Penn State falling apart, Texas struggling. Like you can only make your schedule based on, your best
Yeah.
guesstimates. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, next big game was Indiana, Oregon. That game was actually pretty much head to head all the way up until I think the end of the fourth quarter, where I think IU took the lead, scoring a touchdown, but then ended up Oregon got the ball back and ended up I think maybe turning it over, and then IU scored again off of that. So the score
Yeah.
looks a little bigger than what the game was, but
Indiana,
Indiana
Indiana
looked good.
thoroughly they controlled the game. Oregon scored uh one of their touchdowns off a pick six. And then the other touchdown was on a busted coverage that was wide open. So they did not put a drive together the whole day where they scored a touchdown. Indiana's defense just controlled the game. I don't know what this says with Oregon. They kind of seem to struggle in big games as of late. I know they had the Ohio State win last year, but the Rose Bowl came back and got them. So. I'm not too sure exactly what Oregon is going to look like the rest of the year. I don't think they really even play anybody again the rest of the year. So where it's going to be really hard with the Big Ten because the bottom half of the Big Ten is not going to challenge at all. Even the mid tier of the Big Ten is not really going to challenge at all. So we're not going to really learn about all these teams until you have the Big Ten championship with Indiana and Ohio State is what it's looking like. Because Penn State flamed out too, as bad as that was. So I mean, it was a great win for Indiana. They look like the second 1A, 1B team with Ohio State right now, just because of how hard they play and how aggressive they play on defense.
Yeah. I definitely think they're a good team this year, a lot better than what they were last year. I definitely felt like last year they were kind of like a fraudulent ranked team. But this year they seem to really, be a powerhouse. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to see the rest of their season, and hopefully Ohio State and them can maybe go head to head in Indianapolis in the Big Ten championship, which honestly would be great because, yeah, like I said, Big Ten championship in Indianapolis, Bloomington not far away, Columbus not too far away either. I think you would have a crazy showing. Now the stadium would be all red, would be hard to tell who was who was cheering for who, but I think it would be a great game.
yeah,
Heading on, almost had a really big upset, but they snuck out of it. Ole Miss wins by 3 against Wazoo. I
yeah.
don't know. Didn't watch that game. I don't know what
It was a
happened,
classic
but
look ahead spot. Ole Miss wasn't ready to play. Washington State was. Um, Ole Miss kind of got punched in the mouth on defense. It was a kind of an odd game. I don't know if there's really anything to take from this game because this is not going to be the Ole Miss team you see next weekend in Athens. It's just one of those games that they got through and survived. You would have liked usually Ole Miss in this situation is one of those teams just runs up the score. So there was some interest in a point of, oh my gosh, why are they losing right now to Washington State late in the first quarter? But they ended up sneaking out. I mean, you do got to remember, as much as the D2 quarterback has been playing, D2 transfer quarterback has been playing good. He is a D2 transfer quarterback, so there are some times when he's going to look like a D2 transfer quarterback. It just
yeah,
is what it is. But he also has the real upside, which you saw in the LSU game, you saw in the Arkansas game. So I mean, they squeaked it out at home. It was a weird spot because they had a bye week last week. This was a
yeah,
classic look ahead spot. I guarantee you they probably prepped for 2 days for Washington State and used the rest to prep for Georgia.
yeah,
The Ole Miss will play its best game of the year against Georgia as every other team does. Every team plays Georgia the best they can. So
yeah.
that's what's going to happen next week. But that's all I got from that game.
Next game, A&M, Florida. A&M handled Florida again. Didn't really watch it, but hey, A&M clearly doesn't look like they're going away anytime soon, and they look like a strong team
Mhm.
because even though Florida has really struggled, they tend to put up, a good fight against some teams, especially if you're not expecting it. But A&M
Yeah.
definitely was well prepared and uh, yeah, did what they were
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Florida, they played all right. It wasn't the best game. It wasn't the worst game. But that Texas game was clearly just a one-time thing. Texas A&M is a good team. They're a good team. They can throw the ball. They can play defense. They can run it. They can do all facets. So, um, I that's really all I got out of that. Florida, the stuff came out today that Florida's probably going to part ways with Billy Napier, which is going to be weird, especially if he wins this Saturday. But I think the change is coming. It's been too long. They can't compete with a team like Texas A&M at this point. So I think a change is coming there, and I think they may just kind of limp through the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So that's all I got from that game.
Next game, upset. I think even though the spread and stuff was pretty narrow, Texas takes down Oklahoma 23 to 6. I watched the highlights of this game and I thought the score was a lot worse than what the game actually um, looked like. From what I saw, there was a lot of bad quarterback play just from Mateer and just bad decisions. I don't know what he was doing for some of them. He literally had, I think, three of his interceptions where he just chucked the ball up and was
Yeah,
like, hope somebody's down there. He didn't look
John
good.
Mateer wasn't John Mateer that game. But at the same time, Oklahoma can't run the ball. They have not been able to
Yeah,
run the ball all year. It was John Mateer, and they ran into a good defense. Texas has a good defense. Then they can't run the ball. So if John Mateer is not being superhuman John Mateer, they're gonna have a hard time moving the ball. Um, and then, I mean, you saw he had a cloth that was completely bloody from his hand. He probably shouldn't have
yeah,
played this game.
probably not.
He was struggling. I don't know if it was just poor decision making or he just really was losing track of the ball on his throws. Um, but Oklahoma struggled. I mean, but in Texas defense, they played well, but they scored 23 points with turnovers and punt returns. So I'm
Yeah,
not this Texas offense is not this. Oh my gosh, it was just
no, yeah,
a lightning in a bottle performance. The light came on. They figured it out. I know Oklahoma's got a good defense, but it's still got a long way to go. Now they finally ran the ball, which is good, and it helped Arch Manning out. But they definitely are not the elite offense that they need to be at the end of the year if they want to make the playoff or go anywhere. So they gotta keep that up. Um,
100%.
yep.
That's, yeah, same feeling. Texas offense still looked pretty, pretty poor.
By the way,
Besides
on that
besides the run game.
punt return, they missed three block in the back. So say
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah. I
Texas.
well, we're covering that.
We'll look at
We're
that
covering
later.
that because
Yeah.
I was like looking at the punt return. I was like, wait, is that a blocking back? I was like, oh, that could be close. And then I saw another one. I was like, oh yeah, that one is for sure. So yeah, we'll go over that one in the main segment. Next game, Bama, Missouri. We knew this was going to be a good one. Ended up being a good one. Unfortunately, again, I had Missouri winning this or in my upset pick. They didn't. So I fall 3-3 with my upset picks back to 500. But overall, I felt like it was a good game. I think both of these teams clearly are good teams. No team looked to me like, oh man, we should like be scared that maybe they're fraudulent. I think this game lived up to its expectations, and I think both of these teams have great playoff implications for now.
Yep.
Um,
Uh,
they
I will say about Missouri, they did look fairly good. But as soon as you took their running game out, they have no offense.
yeah,
Privula cannot throw. Product of Penn State offenses, so I guess they don't teach quarterbacks there how to throw the ball. Because he looked like a chicken with his head cut off as soon as he had pass rush and he had to throw the ball. He had no he was playing frantic, off time, just kind of first read chunk. I don't know if you saw the last play. Number two, the wide receiver for Missouri on the bottom of the screen was wide open, jumping, throwing his hands in the air, smacking the ground after he didn't get the ball. Um, it, it they have to improve that. Now he's a great runner, and they run the ball well with Ahmad Hardy, one of the best running backs in the country. But um, if they cannot throw the ball, they're not going to be able to win games like this because Alabama is good enough to take away what you do best, which is running the ball. Alabama has the defenders to do that, and they did. And Missouri really struggled to score um, because they couldn't throw the ball. So they're gonna have to figure that out. They want to get where they want to be because they're gonna run into a few teams that can do what Alabama did, and they're gonna have to be able to not replicate that outcome of the game. Alabama has a really good time consuming offense as well. I thought it was just like a one off when they controlled the ball against Georgia, then did it against Vanderbilt, and then they did it against Missouri. For some reason this year they don't really have the most explosive plays. I'm besides the first two or three games when they played terrible teams. They've really just been walking the ball down the field methodically. So it's hard to do anything because they're going to go on a 5 to 8 minute drive, and you get the ball back. If you go three and out, they're about to go on another 5 to 8 minute drive, and they seem to go on three or four of those per game. So it's a hard offense to deal with, but they're never going to pull away from a team if they play like that. So I mean, that playing that style brand of football is conducive, but if you have a few bad breaks one game, it could go bad.
Cool. Um, yeah, I you said everything, you know. I don't I was just watching highlights of the game. So from what I saw, I just think those two teams still gonna uh, they look good. They look good. But anyways, I'll run through a couple games just real fast,
Yeah.
just to cover them, and then I'll come back to the big game because I know you're gonna have stuff to say about
Okay.
Georgia, Auburn, South Carolina, LSU. But anyways, Texas Tech handled business 42-17. They look like they're ahead of the Big 12 by a long shot. I know I'm hoping maybe UC can put up a fight against them too, but that's just because, you know, being from Cincinnati, I would like to see maybe the hometown team do something in the Big 12. Tennessee snuck out a win against Arkansas. Uh, Apparently, Arkansas tends to be a trap game for Tennessee. I didn't watch any of the highlights or any of that game. So, and from what I've seen from Arkansas, they look bad. So maybe Tennessee needs to worry a little bit because I was at
Tennessee's
home too.
defense is a liability.
Yeah.
Their defense is a liability.
Georgia Tech handled Virginia Tech. Figure that. USC pounded Michigan. I was we stayed before kind of Washington playing Michigan and see how that goes there. This game I kind of put on a scale of where Michigan is at currently in the Big Ten, and I do think I mean USC is a good team. I don't think they're the greatest team though. So that was interesting to see. Notre Dame handled business. BYU, they did their thing. I still think they might be a little fraudulent if they run
They are
into
fraudulent.
a solid team. Utah whooped up on Arizona State. Uh, I didn't even see that. That's big. Arizona State obviously is
It was
clearly not the powerhouse they were.
Arizona State led by ninth year quarterback Jeff Sims. So still I think they would have lost to Sam Levitt, but it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah. Colorado upsets Iowa State. Iowa State drops two in a row these past couple weeks. They are obviously seeing struggles, I assume, offensively. Um,
Hmm.
Maybe Rocco Beck isn't performing as well. Florida State, mid again, mid again. Lost to Pitt. I knew that would be a trap game for
This
them.
game made me
Lost to
frustrated
Pitt.
too because I almost picked this as my upset pick last week. I was so close. It was my second choice. And I actually have a few other buddies that I do a like a pick'em league with, and I picked
Yeah,
this to be my upset. But I should have picked it instead of South Carolina. But yeah, that Florida State, I don't they haven't won an ACC game since like last September, I think maybe, or
jeez.
maybe even worse than that. It's just I don't know. Mike Norvell has his team just quits, and when they quit, they really quit. They do not get back up. So they're gonna have to figure out something down there because they have more losses coming if they don't figure it out. Still got Clemson on the schedule. Still got Florida on the schedule. They got to figure something out.
Yeah. UCLA. I guess firing the whole coaching staff was a great thing.
Hmm.
That makes two in a row for them. And
Jerry Newhouse figured out how to use the radio this week.
they are only 2-1 in Big Ten play, which if somehow UCLA turns this around, they could be fighting for a spot in the Big Ten championship.
That's unreal.
Oh,
Unreal.
that's insane. Uh, Not too many other games. Big games. Penn State obviously lost again. Northwestern
And
solid
Franklin out.
this year. Franklin, he's done for. He got his payout. You know, now he can go flaunt, lay in his money, or maybe find another job if anybody wants him. But we'll
Yeah,
see. I don't know. Some people are like, should they really fire him? Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
I
It's
mean, it is kind of hard
although
to.
it's hard, but because now it sets a crazy expectation for the next coach. Because James Franklin was perennially a 10-2 coach, couldn't get over the edge. So now the guy that you're bringing in is expected to be an 11-1 national championship contender.
Well, it's not even 11 and 1. It's they can still be 10 and 2.
Yeah,
They just
but
need to
just
beat
that
a
I'm
big
talking
team.
about, yeah, if they played two big teams during the year,
Yeah.
like they usually they had played Michigan and Ohio State, the two big,
Yeah.
they'd lose to both of them. You got to beat one of
Yeah.
those and get to a national championship per year. That's what you're
Yeah.
hoping for now. I don't know how many candidates out there right now are capable of doing that. So if it takes a while to get there, this is what y'all
Yeah.
wanted. So
I mean, I think the big issue is at the quarterback position. Penn
yep,
State hasn't found a really solid quarterback in the past
they
however long.
refuse to change.
I've and they always
Trace
seem to
McSorley
go,
was the last one.
yeah. I
Probably was a
mean,
good quarterback.
but yeah, he was decent, and then they went into what, Sean Clifford? Was that the next one
Will
after
Levis,
Trace
Sean
McSorley?
Clifford, Drew Allen, basically the same player.
Like same player, same formula. Like you ain't gonna win with the same formula. Like that's literally the definition of crazy or insanity. He's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yep,
It's not gonna work.
yep,
So I think they just need a quarterback change. That will help because obviously their defense and stuff has always been good, has always been solid, but quarterback play has always lacked. Oh, lastly, going back to this
my
bigger
upset
game
pick
so we
of
can
the
talk a
week
little bit.
failed me
Go
miserably. South Carolina.
South
South Carolina at
Carolina.
LSU. Man, I was hoping for a hard Cocktober, but instead we got a soft Cocktober, and it has not been fun to watch. Guess we're gonna have to wait till Cockvember now because I do not know what the South Carolina offense is doing. They cannot block at all. They let go of the offensive line coach. Lenore Sellers hasn't really progressed from last year. It's a lot of really negative plays. I know LSU is a good defense, but they just they're not a contender. And I think a lot of people that window of Lenore Sellers is closing fast. And if you're not surrounding him with a line that can block or a good defense, or it's you're gonna have to rebuild. So they're kind of screwed too because their schedule the next month is horrendous. So
Yeah.
it could get really bad really fast.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately.
was going to say I was like he has no opportunity to progress because he's literally scrambling out of the pocket what seems like almost every single play. So he's literally carrying the force to carry the team on his back. And I've been seeing that from the only game I didn't really see that in was the Kentucky game. Other than that, Missouri game, same thing happened. South Carolina, I mean LSU game, obviously. Vanderbilt game, he got injured, but still, like you saw what happens when he gets injured, goes out. Like South Carolina can't do anything.
Yeah,
So, uh, yeah, they have some struggles on that O line that they need to fix if they really want Lenore's to develop and for them to become a power SEC team.
yeah.
That's that's what they
Jared
gotta do.
Nussmeier is also looking pretty suspect too. LSU's got a great defense this year. Their offense is still struggling.
He
It's gonna
he
get them. It's gonna get them again. They got
he's
they
always
got
been suspect.
Alabama. They got Alabama and I think A&M on the schedule.
Yeah.
That's
I was never
um,
high on Nussmeier. I mean, respect to him. I mean, you're a LSU quarterback, so I mean,
I'm not
you're a
so sure they get out of
decent
this
player,
week.
but
This coming week. We'll preview that later, but that
yeah.
one's gonna be a tough one too. In the last game
I
last week, the tale of two halves, Georgia Auburn. Auburn dominates the first half, Georgia dominates the second half a little bit more. Um, Auburn refused to take adversity and get by it. I as soon as the fumble happened in the end zone and they caught it the other way, there you could just tell their sideline, their coach, their AD, all of them went so ballistic they never recovered. They just weren't the same team.
Yeah.
15 yards of offense in the second half, I think was the total. That's You can blame the refs all you want, but 15 yards a sec or 15 yards of offense in the second half is not going to win you any game. And that was not because of the referees. That's because Jackson Arnold missed a lot of throws. They couldn't get anything going. I thought Mike Bobo called a hell of a second half in terms of offense. They didn't execute some of the plays, but that last drive was a thing of beauty. They ran the ball finally. Georgia's top running back, Chauncey Bowens, was dealing with some injuries, only had five total plays or seven total plays or something like that. That definitely played a factor in the game. Their whole offensive line is severely injured. Georgia's starting left tackle, who played the whole game, wasn't even going to go this week until he texted Coach Smart on Thursday that he was going to go and play. So he's playing on basically one ankle. That it's a very wounded offensive line, but I thought they played a hell of a game considering what they had. Auburn is a really talented team. They have in terms of talent roster, a top 15 talent roster in the country. For whatever reason, play calling, they can't figure it out. They have a good defense, um, but they call an RPO high school offense, and then it just Jackson Arnold for the second year in a row. I don't know why you saw what you saw last year and decided to go get him out of the portal. Not the guy. It's I give it 1 to 2 more games of him until they go to Deuce Knight. But Auburn has severely underperformed again this year, and if they get smacked by Missouri this week, um, Hugh Freeze may be gone in the distant future because they should not be underperforming with the talent they have on that team.
100% agree. I felt like Auburn had a lot of momentum at the beginning of the game, then it just seemed to all go away after that fumble. And looking at it, they were leading 10-3, still going into halftime. So you would think maybe they would have at least have some energy being up at half against the number 10 team in the country, but clearly their offensive struggles this year ensued in this game. Struggle to score, can't win games. So seems to be the story of Auburn these past, I don't know, for probably like 5 years or so. Can't remember the last time Auburn was really, really solid. But I do miss when Auburn was solid. I always feel like when Auburn is a solid team, the SEC is even more fun to watch. But that wraps up the recap, and we're going to go and head into the main segment of What's the Call? This week they made it easy on me. I didn't have to look at too many games to find questionable calls. Thank God. I just pulled up literally top four, top five biggest games, and what do you know? Had a bunch of questionable calls, so glad they made it easy on me. So let's get into that. So the first game I have, first questionable call is the Alabama Missouri game. This one was pretty blatant. This one actually was really easy for me because the announcers even commentated on it. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use this one." But we'll take a look. It's a off the ball blocking call. They didn't call holding on this, which I don't know why, but you'll see here and we'll get your thoughts.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it. Let's go back real quick. I'll slow it down. So just watch number five that whole time, and he's gonna come in contact and try to block.
Okay.
What is that, 29
What happened on this play?
or it's a run play?
Is it a score or is it a big
No,
play?
no, no, no. It's not a score or anything. It's just a bad no call, which I think Bama ends up scoring off of this, like because they convert. It becomes 3rd and 1, and then they end up converting and scoring. Um, which I'm trying to see. But yeah, so he grabs him, wraps him, and takes him down. And the big part is that guy is one of the he's a linebacker that helps set the edge on these run plays. So you take him out, the running back has all green grass here, so yep. Just hangs on to him, takes him down where that
Yeah,
linebacker would be right here and be
that's a
able to tackle
headlock.
him.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah, it's a holding. They miss probably
so
5 to 10 holdings per game.
yeah,
Um,
ends up
that's a hold.
ends up then being 3rd and 1, and they convert that easily instead of probably 2nd and 20 or whatever. So I like that as a hold. I
Mm-hmm.
think the announcers got that one right and the refs missed that one. Next one is Oklahoma versus Texas. This one, I I put this one in just because I really don't know what to call on this. I feel like it could be pass interference, but then there's also a case for it to not be pass interference. So let's watch it. It'll be at the top of your screen. It'll be the top receiver here. So I'll play it right there. So the ball is not really too close. We'll watch it again. Bang. Like,
Yeah,
you see that? You see that? Like, he definitely got there
yeah.
early. He definitely got there early, but is it even a catchable ball? That's what comes into question. So pause right here. Ball's still in the air. Ball's still in the air. Bang. Ball hasn't hit the ground yet.
I don't think it's catchable, but it's hard to
He
tell.
might have been able to
It
make
probably
an
was
actual good
PI.
play.
It's a bang bang. It probably was
Bang.
PI. His
Yeah.
head's not turned. He knocked into him. It probably should have been
Yeah.
PI.
Because he was coming back to it. And I'll say, when I slow it down here, it's a little closer than it looks because he's never able to get to his final position because of the Texas player. So he could have maybe actually made somewhat of a play on it. But I just saw this and I think maybe the refs deemed it uncatchable, but he definitely got there before the ball even hit the ground. That's
Yeah.
100%. He took him out
The dude
before
on
the
the
ball
bottom,
even hit
number
the ground.
nine, he has both his hands on his helmet, like he knew it was going to be a
Oh,
pass
I
interference.
didn't even see that.
Yeah. So even he knew it was going to happen.
Even yeah. So
Yeah.
I would have I think it could go either way. I kind of like PI on this just because it was it was closer than what like I don't know. Is he
Yeah.
really going to catch that? Most likely not, but the Texas guy made sure of that not happening, which at the end of the day, you at least have to let the receiver make an attempt for the ball.
Yeah.
So I think I would have liked the PI on that one. I know I had another clip. I just gotta remember. Oh,
Punt
we were
return.
talking about blocking the backs, blocking the
Yeah.
backs. So this is beautiful. There's like three of them you'll see here. So
Run right there. Yeah.
first one is right here.
Reverse it.
It's
No, you can go back.
questionable.
Go back. Go back. There's even one before that.
Right
Boom, right
there.
there. Yep.
Yeah. Shoves him.
There's one.
Oh yeah, that is one. And then this one I didn't know. I thought it could have been called right there too.
There's two.
And then this is the worst one. 44 is coming in and like dude like just takes him out. Like he tries to sell it like he's just falling and he happens to take out the Oklahoma dude, but it's obviously a clear block to
Yep.
throw the guy off. So,
Three blocking the backs.
yeah,
They
you could
missed
have
on that.
called however many blocking the backs you wanted to.
That's
They
when you
didn't
knew
call
Texas
it.
was going to win the game.
Yeah. Didn't call it Texas scores. Come on, refs.
Yeah, we got to do
Next
better.
game. This one's pretty bad too. Should be PI. I don't know how the hell it's not PI. But anyways, top receiver up here. Watch it real quick.
Oh, yeah, it's PI. No PI on that.
No
Wow.
PI on that. No
But to be
PI on
fair, why
that.
aren't we running a 25-yard fade ball on 3rd and 1?
That is an interesting call. I didn't really think about that. Maybe I think they were trying to catch him off guard.
One-on-one coverage. Yeah, you know you're going for it on fourth down, I guess. That could only be the
But yeah, hands on him,
good
pulling
ball.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's PI.
that's
Clear,
PI
pretty
all
clear
day.
cut. That was a missed call.
Clear cut, clear cut. Let me see if there was another one. Oh, they called pass interference on number 7 right here. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, they called this pass interference.
Pass interference or just holding?
They called it pass interference.
Oh, wow, that's a bad call too. Ball's not even thrown his way.
Yeah, I know.
Should have been holding, if anything.
Holding, if anything, and even if that, it's pretty limited. I mean, they're both and fighting. I'm like,
Yeah,
so that gave it IU the free first down. Um, psst, I was like, what? Pass interference on
yeah,
7?
it's pretty
Wasn't
bad.
even involved in the play.
It was a pretty bad weekend for officiating and
Yeah, it
and all
was.
all of
It
college football.
was. But hey, makes our job a lot easier, right?
Hmm.
Next game, your favorite game.
You could pick probably. We could have spent the whole segment. There are probably 15 plays that could have gone either
Yeah,
way. And if
yeah,
as an Auburn, as from the Auburn side, you say, "Oh, well, there all these plays went against Auburn." I can show you probably 5 to 6 plays that screwed Georgia, especially one near the end of the game where Cash Jones, the running back, blocks somebody. They call an illegal blindside block. It negates a Georgia touchdown because they got down to the 1 yard line. They would have scored on the next play. So
yeah.
it was bad both ways.
Anyways, I felt like this one is like pretty obvious. I mean, I don't know how tensions were in this game, so maybe the refs were like, we'll just let guys
It
beef
was
it
pretty. It
out.
was a pretty. It was a pretty bad officiated game.
But anyways, throws it, incomplete pass. Number 4 is
I will
like
say, yeah. First off, that if you're
like
going to enforce taunting, that's got to be taunting. But second off, number
yeah.
four got what was coming to him. I want to say like in 2 or 3 plays or the next drive, um, he targets the QB and gets thrown out of the game because he's just
Okay. Oh, I
way
did see
too
that.
juiced up.
I saw
Yeah,
that
he's
one
way
too.
and that
Yeah.
one that big people are calling that one controversial. You can't hit a quarterback throwing the ball in the air in the chin strap with your helmet. That's going to be a targeting every
No,
time. The
yeah, I
quarterback's
saw that
going to
one.
get
That one,
protected.
yeah, that one
You can't
wasn't
do that.
controversial. I kind of this next one, yeah. Anyways, maybe if you got a taunting call there, it might have settled him down.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know how. I just want to look at it one more time just because I laugh at it. Like this, like I've seen way less for taunting. This dude literally is just standing
Yeah,
over your guys'
screaming at him.
receiver, like
That's
screaming
ridiculous.
at. him.
That's ridiculous.
I'm like, how is that not taunting? Next one, it's called Roughing the Passer on Auburn. I called this one questionable just because the Auburn guy kind of got there before. We'll watch the play here.
Actually, I have one more I want you to find after this.
Yeah, so that was kind of called roughing the
It's
passer.
the it's the this the throwdown at the end that got him.
Well, the thing is
If you
he
let him
didn't.
go right there, let him go, threw him down right there at the end. That's what it is. If you just let him go at that point, you just fall. Don't drag him to the ground. The fact that you drag and threw him down is why you got roughing the passer.
Yeah,
The ball's out right there. He took 3 steps and got thrown to the ground.
yeah. I just think from a momentum standpoint, though, like that dude ain't gonna like. I don't know. I've seen
But I
like I
think
feel
that's
like
close enough. That's close enough where it's like I understand what the call is, so it's not like, oh wow, that's a blatant miscall. Like you can see
no.
how
I
that
could
can be
kind of
called.
see it. I do think like freaking Gunnar Stockton went like a rag doll on purpose though too. Like, cause like people were saying, oh, he shoved him, he shoved him. He didn't really shove him. He kind of just pulled him to the ground. I think Gunner just did a whole little ragdoll, like just went limp because to try and get the call.
Mm.
Um, because he's obviously trying to tackle him. His feet, Auburn's guy's feet are out from under him before Stockton even throws the
A
ball. So
throwdown at the
what
end that
he's
got him
doing
though. Skip to about minute 15 on the video.
in
On that
what
video that you're
quarter?
on right now. Yeah.
Minute
It's
15?
in the yeah, no, 15 minutes. Like the minute
15.
15.
Oh, okay, the minute 15. Is it this
Yeah, I
one?
think it's right there. Yeah, that play right there. Wow, I'm surprised I got that.
Do I need to
Yeah,
go
go
back?
no, no, yeah, go back a few seconds. This play.
Right here?
You
Play
can
it from here or
go
go
back to the
back?
start of it. Yeah, it's
All right.
yeah, that the start of that play. Go to the start of that play
Okay.
before they're gonna snap.
Oh,
So right here, Gunner
cool.
gets the ball. You can play.
Yeah.
Watch the running back, number 32.
Yeah, I'm
Gunner gets the
watching them.
ball, he starts running up. So he throws it. That was called an illegal blindside block, 15-yard penalty. Now, from your initial viewing, did you think that was an illegal blindside block?
No, it's because the guy got slumped.
Yep. If anything, it's blocking downfield. I could see that, but that's not
They,
an illegal
no,
dirty
he's
hit.
running
He's
at
looking
him.
at him.
He just
I don't know how he really got slumped on that. He didn't hit him that hard.
cut. He got under the
Yeah, I
chin.
guess right. But that was called a 15-yard penalty for an illegal blindside block, and Georgia misses the field goal after they get a 10-yard run. So that penalty negated points for Georgia. Um, I think personally that's a bad call. It's just because he fell like that
Yeah.
that they called it.
I
Um,
I think it's a bad call too. It's unfortunate that like bro got
he
knocked
fell
out.
like that.
This might
Well, he
have to
was
be
fine to play later. He just fell like that. He ended up being fine.
he looked
Um,
like he got knocked out for a hot second there because his body went pretty limp.
he
He
ended up being all
definitely
right,
did.
thankfully.
Probably yeah.
But that I
But
think
I'm
that
glad he
was a
was all
bad
right.
call. He's looking at him. He
It's not a
braces for the
blindside
count.
block. He sees him, yeah. He
He just
sees
got
him.
kind of
I
clean.
don't think it's a blindside block.
Yeah. So I think that was one of the worst calls of the game, and that was against Georgia.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's probably four or five more you can go
Yeah,
through
there's
yourself.
definitely 4 or 5 more. Anyways, as you can see, refs made it easy this week for us to find clips. But that wraps up this segment, the main segment. What's the call? And now we go into a little look ahead. Week 8. Man, shit. Week 8 already?
Hey, man.
Oh, gosh.
I'll try to keep this
Time
short and sweet
flies.
because
Time flies.
we've been a little long tonight. So
Yeah.
Friday, Louisville at Miami. Miami's gonna roll. That Miami's a good team. Is what it is. We also have Nebraska at Minnesota on Friday. Um,
I'm gonna confirm that as my upset. I'm gonna confirm
okay, you're
that.
taking Minnesota. I think
I'm putting
Nebraska
that in
wins, but
as
it's
my
close.
upset.
Okay, I can
I
see
have
that too.
faith. I think Minnesota will make a little bounce back. It didn't look good against Purdue. They got lucky. Purdue's quarterback doesn't know how to throw a daggone ball because they won on a pick six. But I think maybe they can put things together. Hopefully, shake up a little upset. Because again, like I said, I was looking at this week's games and I'm like, I don't know who to pick for upset. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Minnesota over Nebraska.
Going into Saturday, we have LSU visiting the Commodores of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's favored by 2.5 points. I think this is going to be a close game. I wouldn't bet on this. The two I mean, I don't really know how to judge it. I think Vanderbilt ends up winning this game. Really close game. But I think it'll be one of those. I think it's going to be a fairly low scoring game. You could see it like a 20-13, 24-27, something in that range. Then we going into Georgia Tech at Duke. Duke is favored by 1.5 points. It's probably the biggest game for Georgia Tech all year until they play Georgia at the end of the year. So Georgia Tech, you got to have this one. You can't drop this one if you want to be considered a team that could go to the playoff this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on this one either. I could see Duke winning this. I could see Georgia Tech winning this. This would be a close game. We got Oklahoma at South Carolina. I think I'm gonna do it again. Give me Cocktober. It's got to happen one of these weeks. I think Oklahoma not being able to run the ball. John Mateer's still a little hurt. You think it's a get back spot, but I think South Carolina is in desperation mode. They got to win this game. I think South Carolina squeaks this out at Williams-Brice Stadium. Oklahoma is an overrated ball team. Um, I think South Carolina finds a way to get it done. I don't know if you have any input on those games, but if not, we'll keep rolling.
I just feel like South Carolina has struggled so much. I mean, I would love to see him win, but honestly, I don't have any faith in South Carolina right now. I
They
don't.
always have a random game at home against a top 15 team where they look unstoppable.
That's
It
true.
happens every year, so I think that this one could be it.
Uh,
Ohio State at Wisconsin. That's not Wisconsin's awful. Ohio State. It's basically like playing an FCS school. We got Michigan State at Indiana. Indiana's going to roll. Michigan State's not very good either. There's nothing really to talk about there. A&M at Arkansas. I think Arkansas puts up a little fight. Um, it's not going to be close though. A&M's a really good team. They're gonna continue to roll. Arkansas may keep it close, like going into halftime and then into the first quarter. Could be like a 14-17 game because Arkansas can score the ball, but and I would take I'm taking A&M there pretty easily. Ole Miss and Georgia. Georgia's favored by 7.5. I don't know why. I think it'll be a lot closer. The past two meetings, Ole Miss blew Georgia out last year. Georgia blew Ole Miss out the year before. I think they're due for a close game. So, um, this game really comes down to can Georgia run the ball, and can they not give up explosives to Trinidad Chambliss? And how's Trinidad Chambliss going to handle his first SEC road start? This kid hadn't played on the road in the SEC yet. That's going to be a crazy environment. We'll see how he handles it. Texas Tech at Arizona State. I think Texas Tech wins big. They're a legit team. Arizona State, even with Will or Sam Levitt, I don't know if he's playing or not, but I don't think it matters. Arizona State's overrated this year. Texas Tech's a good team. Um, Memphis at UAB. Memphis is going to roll. It's not going to even be a close game. Oregon at Rutgers. It's not going to be a close game either. Bottom half of the Big Ten does not usually compete with the top half. Give me Oregon going across country to Piscataway, New Jersey. Um, Virginia will beat Washington State. I'm fairly positive. Washington State put up a good fight last week. Can they come across the country and do it again? I don't know. Um, Texas at Kentucky. Ooh, Texas favored by 12.5. I think this game tracks closer to a 23-13 game. I think Kentucky has a pretty good defense. It's not the best in the SEC. They're probably the worst team in the SEC, but it's a home night game in the SEC. They're going to be playing for pride. They have nothing left to play for in this season. They can knock off Texas. I would take Kentucky plus the points in this. I think 12.5 is too much. I don't think Texas is going to unless they get a bunch of turnovers. I don't think Texas is going to run away with this game. I think it's going to be a close game because playing on the road in the SEC is a hard thing to do. So I would take Kentucky plus 12.5 on that one. Tennessee to Alabama. I think the Tide rolls in this. Tennessee's defense has been suspect. They've been giving up 35 plus points in every SEC game. They gave up 40 to Mississippi State, 31 to Arkansas, 45 to Georgia. Two of those being overtime, but still, um, their secondary can't cover those teams. I don't know how they're going to cover Alabama. And they gotta be able to score with Alabama. So that's the only avenue I see this really going. If it's a 42-41 type ball game where they just out explosive Alabama, that they're gonna have to make into a track meet.
I,
USC at Notre Dame. What were we saying?
yeah, I was going to say too, I don't know how Tennessee ended up moving up a rank from 12 to 11.
I
Uh,
think they just suffered from other teams moving back.
Most likely, I still don't think, obviously, AP poll never learns.
They're a
They'll
joke.
never learn. Tennessee, come on.
No, no.
They-
USC at Notre Dame. That's probably one of the sneakiest, best games of the weekend. Um, Notre Dame, you got to have this. You got lucky enough that USC ended up being good this year to be a good team on your schedule to beat. You got to have this. You got to win it convincingly if you want to make the playoff. You lose this, your playoff hopes are done. USC, you also got to have this one too. If you don't have this one, your playoff hopes are basically sealed. It's a must win for both teams. I think 9.5 may be a little high for this. I'd probably take
It is
USC
pretty
plus the
high.
points. USC plus the points. Give me Notre Dame winning like 38-31, somewhere in that range. I think it would be a lot of scoring. But I do think 9.5 is a lot there. So I would
Yeah.
take USC plus 9.5 on that.
Yeah.
Um,
I like Notre Dame just winning the game in general. I think, you know, USC, like I said, is a good team, but I think Notre Dame is a better team. They've obviously played starting off against Miami and then Texas A&M, which we were like, "Oh, how's Texas A&M going to pan out?" Well, Texas A&M is pretty daggone good. So those two losses on Notre Dame's resume aren't going to really hurt them as long as they can win out. And I just feel like they're a good team. They've been playing good ball since those two losses, and USC just I feel like they have defensive issues also too. So from what I've seen, teams can score pretty easily on them.
yeah. Um, all right, I'm gonna do a double upset this week. I think Auburn beats Missouri. They finally don't get screwed by the refs, and they get it done. I think we see a close game going into halftime. I think Auburn's down in a close game with little scoring going to halftime, and you see a QB switch finally. And I think they end up winning the game. They finally get a few good breaks to go 1-3 in the SEC. Hugh Freeze lives to fight another day. It's a night game in the SEC again. Auburn fans will show up. I don't know if this is Missouri's first road game of the year, more than halfway in the year. So we don't. I don't know if Bo Prabula is going to be ready
It's our first
for
road game,
first road game of the year for what he's about to see.
like against
Uh,
like the SEC or like a powerhouse team or just in general. First
I'm
road
pretty
game of the year.
sure
Because there ain't no way they go,
first road game of the year. They went Central Arkansas week 1 versus Kansas week 2 versus Louisiana week 3 versus
oh
South
my
Carolina week 4 versus
gosh.
UMass week 5 and versus Alabama last week.
How do you,
So first time playing away from home this year.
my gosh. They get 7 home games this year? That's insane. I don't know how you, well,
We'll see. I don't like. I mean, Missouri. We don't know how they're going to play on the road. So we'll see.
we'll see what
I
happens.
think Auburn wins this game. I think
That's,
they're definitely battle tested. This is a good defense. They just got to figure something out on offense. If they can get it done with Jackson Arnold, they can get it done with Jackson Arnold. But at some point, I think they're gonna have to switch a QB. It's
yeah.
if Deuce Knight's gonna be the future, he's got to get thrown in there at some point.
Yeah.
Um, then at 8 o'clock, we got the Holy War, Utah versus BYU, also known as the Soak Off. We won't call it that. Um, I think Utah wins this game. I don't
Utah's
really
good.
know enough about
They're so
BYU.
good.
Um, I I think Utah wins this game. Devin Dampier's playing good football. Shout out DD at Trey Jones. Um, but I think Utah gets it done. They lost to Texas Tech, who's a good team, but they've been playing good ball since then. And I'm not sure about BYU. I think it's a close game, but I think Utah gets it done. Then we have Cincinnati at Oklahoma State. I think Cincinnati rolls. Oklahoma State's a dead program at this point. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Looks like we'll get some good games.
yeah.
Hopefully
Another
we
weekend of
will.
packed football. It's a great weekend every week, and you got college football. So got college football every day. Got to watch
Just
Jacksonville
about.
State Jacksonville State versus Delaware tonight. Those
Yeah,
those are
and
my
there was
earliest to
games
watch
freaking
football.
Conference USA. Conference USA is taking over the week games. They had games yesterday and today, and they'll probably have games tomorrow. But college college football, 4 out of the 7 days of the week is kind of insane.
Hmm.
So, or is he? It's no, it's
Yeah,
five,
I love
isn't
it.
it?
I love
It's
it. I wish
five
it'd
out
be
of the
seven out
seven
of
days
seven
of
days,
the
but
week.
wish it was 7 days out of the week, but only in a perfect world.
Only in a perfect world. Well, that wraps things up for us. Thank you all viewers for tuning in, joining us. We look forward to coming back next week. Hopefully, have a good week of football. A lot to talk about, and hopefully, it's another easy week for us with officiating. Make some bad calls out there so we can give them shit for it. But again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.